In this episode of GYDA Talks, Robert talks to Leon Milns. Leon is a founder of We Are Adam, a recruitment consultancy specialising in the digital sector. Leon has spent 15 years building Adam into an award-winning consultancy. They create long-term relationships with clients, partnering with their management team to ensure talent acquisitions fulfil their growth journey.
Hello, it's Robert Craven here with the GYDA podcast. Delighted today to have with me Leon Milns from We Are Adam. Now, people think We Are Adam, recruitment consultants. What on earth are you doing in bringing recruitment consultants on board? But actually, no, Leon, great guy, and I'm really delighted to be talking to Leon. Hello, Leon.
Morning, Robert. Thank you very much for having me. Delighted to be here.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So just give everyone a very quick rundown, Leon, of how you got to where you are now. Then we can go on and have a few more general.
Cool. Okay. I'll give you a very, very quick whistle-stop tour. So I graduated nearly 20 years ago now, falling out of university, having done French and Spanish, mainly because it was a 4-year degree and you went to spend a year and a half in both France and Spain and learn about the culture, enjoy all the food and everything else associated with it. So when I graduated, literally I did not know my backside from my elbow, and I was sitting there scratching my head there, what the hell do I do with my career? So as many people in recruitment that I've got to know over the years, you fall into it essentially. So I was very lucky to join one of the world's top PLC businesses straight out of university. They took a bit of a punt on me, and I joined a business called Michael Page, which was at that time, imagine Wolf on Wall Street, but on steroids. It was crazy. So having literally come out and do 4 years doing very little to this 8 till 8 high octane recruitment job, it was mental. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for the world. It was crazy. It was brilliant. I learned so much. But I knew quickly that I wasn't set out to be a paid employee of a business. I would have always had a yearning to do something for myself. And I was very fortunate that throughout my 5 years at Michael Page, I worked with someone who is quite cliched actually. On an after on a golf course, we decided that we wanted to set up our own business. So we spent about a year planning sort of how we were going to go about launching. So we'd finish work at 8 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, and go straight around the corner to a hotel and do 2-hour planning sessions. And so in 2005, we took the big plunge, left our very cozy job of working for Michael Page and launched Adam. So that journey's been pretty cool. I'm not going to say it's been a bed of roses, but it's had its ups and downs, and I've thoroughly enjoyed. I'm still sitting here smiling 15 years into that journey. Very proud of the business that we've grown.
So what did you learn from Michael Page? I mean, we seem to be talking more about Michael Page than we are Adam, but what did you take from your time at Michael Page and bring to We Are Adam?
Discipline, I think, is the key word. I think what they taught you there is the cadence that is required to do, in essence, a recruitment stroke sales job. So the daily, weekly KPIs of what you need to do to ensure that you are successful. So discipline, rigor, sense checking what you've done. And I've very much taken all those principles into my day-to-day entrepreneurial journey that I've been on, and hope to then drip feed that down to people I work. Not quite as brutal and ruthless as the principles that Michael Page adopted, but we've obviously then we measured them accordingly to what works for our business, which is a very different beast to a corporate behemoth that Michael Page is. So
just tell us a bit more about niches, because you're not a one size fits all. We do recruitment for anyone who comes along. So who do you work with, and more importantly, why do you work with those sorts of people? Correct.
So we were very much recruiting back in the 2000s as marketing recruiters. So when we launched our business, our natural evolution was to pick up the relationships that we've fostered over the years. But as marketing and technology has converged over the last decade, we've evolved very much into a digital recruitment business, if you like. But that still covers the pillars of traditional marketing roles, but it also spans digital marketing, e-commerce, tech, analytics, all the kind of good stuff that is very much part and parcel of the industry today. But we also have an HR strand to our business as well. My business partner, Richard, his wife, she joined the business about 8 years ago, and her niche has been very much helping find great HR professionals for businesses. So we've got quite a nice fusion there of, we can unlock the gatekeepers with the HR relationships that Vanessa has fostered over her 20-year career, which therefore then open the doors across to the marketing, digital and tech functions also. On a personal level, my legacy, or I guess my network legacy, has been very much with helping owner-managed independent agencies find great people. So for 10 years in Manchester, I've grown my network, but I went down to London 5 years ago and launched our division down in London. I quickly realised that it wasn't going to be a one-size-fits-all replicate the model that we've got in Manchester, because there's so many recruiters that have got long-standing relationships with existing clients. So I took a step back and thought, well, where can I add value? What is it that I can do what other people can't? What's the uniqueness about me that will help us really get our business off the ground? And it was very much just agency. And as I said, we don't deal with any of the big networked agencies because we can't add value to those guys. Where we add our value is by sitting down with an owner, a founder, CEO, an MD of a business, and really having that peer-to-peer conversation. You know, I'm a business owner, and I understand the challenges of, you know, the umpteen challenges we all face as business owners, but I understand the challenges of why finding the right people at the right stage of your business journey is the most crucial aspect. So for the last 5 years, I've spent my days networking around London business owners, agency owners, and it's been a lot of fun. I have a natural affiliation, I think, to the people within that marketplace, and we seem to get on well, and they seem to buy into the service and the value that we're adding to their business.
But there's another side to this conversation, which is if you were to be amongst a room full of agency owners and you hadn't announced that you were a recruitment consultant, the sign of the cross or whatever it is, what goes on is this. So what goes on is, and you know this, we've talked about it. First thing is, what's your biggest problem? Our biggest problem is people. How the hell do we get the right people at the right time? Too soon? Too late? Do we employ well-trained, well-qualified people who then drop off after 18 months and never fit into our culture? Do we recruit youngsters which we train up and it takes 18 months and then they bog off after 2 years? How do we keep them together? And then you say, well, how do you get people? And they say, well, obviously we're getting people is, word of mouth, friends, values. If we can't get that, then we kind of go on the internet, do the LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook piece. And then if we really have to, the last thing that people want to do is go to a recruitment consultant. And I think it's because it comes across really expensive. It's because other people have, I guess, had their fingers burnt. I mean, I guess my question to you first, and then you can tell me, why is it that people are so hostile to recruitment consultants?
I knew you were going to ask me this question. I'm going to put my tin hat on now.
I've only just started.
I 100% agree with what you say. And whenever I meet new people, the first thing they say is, oh, let me tell you a story about this beat recruiter that we dealt with. And, I love that, because everyone's got a terrible story to tell about recruiters. And that's where I think that, over the 20 years that I've been in my career, you probably get people that say, oh yeah, he's this, he's that. But as a business at Adam, we are very much about long-term value. We're not about willy-nilly firing CVs over and putting a bum on the seat and then you'll never hear about us. But the analogy I like to draw of it is, in any service provider relationship, we've all got terrible stories about that estate agent that never called us back, or that salesperson who tried to sell us that car that had a dodgy front wheel and a back exhaust, or whatever it might well be, or that financial services provider, or this or that. The list is endless. But I think as service providers, or that, or that agency, or that marketing agency we dealt with that said they were going to do this and never actually do it. So I think as service providers, you've got to set an expectation out right at the start of the relationship, and this is what we expect, and this is how it's going to pan out. And if you don't do as you'll say you're going to do, that's when you expose yourself and leave yourself open to criticism. Like I say, I know I'm in an industry that's fraught with people that just try to cut corners and don't do things properly because all they see is the pound signs as opposed to the longevity of a relationship. So, as I say, I love it when I go to these networking dinners or entrepreneurial dinners or business owner dinners, and I do my intro, and you just see faces just drop. And then, like, well, let me tell you about. Let's hear about your story. Let's hear about your negativity. And I think that's a great opportunity for me to sell in myself, sell in our business, and tell the fact that we've been going 15 years, and look at all these people that say great things about us. Yeah, you're going to get the, as I say, the nano percent that says something negative, but that's the world we live in. That's the glass half empty world that we live in.
So your argument is every service industry has its rogues, some more than others, and all we're doing is we're selling reputation, which makes it really tough. But just talk to my clients, and that'll demonstrate the difference. Is that kind of where you're coming from?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm not. I think we've probably got more rogues in our industry than other industries. I'll be honest with that. But I think look at what we've done. Look at what people say about us. Look at how the feedback that they give, that we are very much more about the short, medium, long-term relationship as opposed to just putting a bum on a seat and then sending out an invoice. And we are all about people. The reason why we called ourselves Adam is that the whole embodiment of our business, the brand is get to know us from Adam, and that's what we're all about. Over the last 15 years of being in business, I've probably placed half a dozen people 3 or 4 times in their career. People who've gone in at a junior level and now managing directors, chief execs of the business, people that have done management buyouts, all that kind of good stuff. And I feel really humbled and privileged that these people actually come to me and say, right, Leon, we want to entrust the most important pillar of our business, the talent growth pillar, in your hands to help us fulfill our growth journey.
So how do you respond that? I mean, okay, so we'll pick up on that in a bit, because I think the idea of you being the kind of recruitment director, HR director on a rope is a lovely idea, but just pushing on a little bit harder. To some degree, aren't the online recruiters kind of eating your lunch? Is there not a sense that they're another piece in the jigsaw puzzle which is making it tougher for you? Or do you just see them actually quite the reverse, that they're actually making it easier for you because they're doing this quick and dirty piece that just doesn't deliver the value?
Yeah, well, I think there's a massive market for businesses like that, which is the antithesis of what level we operate at. So, some recruitment businesses can afford to work at a low margin, high volume. We are not a high volume, low margin business. We are about long-term partnerships. We're about really understanding what the growth pillar looks like, the talent growth pillar looks like, and we will work accordingly with those people. But it works well for us, that, because there are businesses that have come to us who've tried these, what was your term, quick and dirty online recruiters or whatever it is, who work at a lower level, and they get on the phones and say, yeah, we tried it, and God, yeah, what a experience we had. Now, that's where we fit in, where we'll come and have a conversation with them, learn about what's failed there, and then we'll say, well, this is how we do it differently. And yes, it does cost a little bit more, but look at the value that you're going to get from it if we execute the campaign correctly and we find you the right person. All that time invested at the front of the campaign will hopefully then yield a decent ROI moving forward. So
you see yourselves as a bit more of a Waitrose? Is that kind of where you'd position yourself? Sort of
Waitrose, booths, yeah. Well, yeah, definitely more the premium end of the marketplace. But yeah, as I say, just value add, and with decent human beings. Yeah, it's about relationships are so important to us. We're human beings at the end of the day, and we want to do a good job. And we want to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and know that we've done everything we can.
So can you articulate or give examples of of value add? Because it's, I guess it's quite hard, isn't it? Because it's not, you put someone in front of me and I can either warm to them or not warm to them.
Yeah.
So it's. I mean, you're selling. I mean, you are. I mean, I've always said about all professional service firms, digital agencies included, that we're selling hot air. We're selling a proper promise. We're selling a reputation. We're selling a belief that we can deliver or over deliver on what we do. So I just want to get a little bit into that a bit more. What's the value add that you think you bring?
I guess there's probably a misconception with our industry that there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes than just literally emailing a CV over to a client and saying interview that client. In order for us at Adam to get to that point, there's a number of stages that we go to add value to the client. So like any service-based business, you have to start the relationship, you have to nurture the relationship. So what we do at the very start of the relationship is go and sit down with the client and get as many of the key people involved as possible and have a discovery session. So we need to look, the role that we play in the market, we're narrators. So we need to learn it. We need to find out exactly what that business is. Tell me about your business. Why did you launch? What's your purpose? What's your vision? What's your values? What's unique about what you do? If I'm at the very top of my game as a digital agency director, doing very well in the business that I'm in, I believe in the vision of the agency that I'm working in, why would I have my head turned about your specific agency? And that's the kind of good stuff that we need to know. We need to really find out the milestones that any client has been to, but then what the next 5 years looks like. And then we can go and narrate that to people in the marketplace and start turning their ears and getting them in front of us first and foremost. Then we can introduce them to a client at which stage they'll then do the compound sell to make it sound really attractive. So to go back a step as well, what we will do is help clients identify the talent, then we'll help attract them, then we'll help land the very best talent, and then we'll help on the retention process as well. Because I guess the most annoying thing of any hire of talent is people that leave after 8 weeks, 3 months, 5 months. And I've had exactly the same scenario. And Robert, you're going to think I'm a fool here, but we have to engage with recruitment to recruitment businesses because we don't have a network of recruiters that we can network with, because we're spending all our time immersed in our sectors, marketing, digital, tech, HR. We haven't got that, so we have to rely on professional recruitment to recruitment business to find talent to help us grow and pay the 20%, 25% fees that you have to pay to get the very best people. It probably does sound ridiculous, but we have to do it. So we invest time at the start of our relationships with these rec-to-rec recruiters, because it is all about building a partnership, and they need to know all the bits of info that are going to pique the interest of potential talent, which is obviously what we have, how we shout from the rooftops when we're representing our clients in the marketplace. Does that answer your question? I think I'm rambling on.
Yeah, no, that's good. So if you flip it around the other way, because I think relationships are two-way, and I do think you get as an industry, you get a hard time, and I do think people expect you to be water walkers, that you can just rock up and pluck someone.
I wish it was that easy. I genuinely wish it was that easy, but it's not.
But I think there is a sense of it being all about you figuring it out. But there must be a responsibility. There must be, from your side, there must be a way that the client can really help you. And what is it that the client can do to get the best value from you?
That's a very good question. And I think it's about openness of relationship. And the more communications that we can have directly, over the phone, in person, the more that we can immerse ourselves in their business and meet more of their business, learn more about their culture, learn more about how their business ticks and why why it's unique. So it's genuinely a two-way process.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at any other relationships you have with your accountants, how long do you do you let your accountants immerse themselves in your business, or a marketing agency or a digital agency? The more time that we can all spend with each other, the more we're going to learn about the whys and wherefores of how to really make that relationship beneficial for both parties. And I guess it's just being available on the phone. I know we're all busy, but I know it sounds gobsmacking, but the amount of clients that can't have a phone call with you because they're so busy we need to be dynamic. Good candidates or the best talent have 3, 4, 5 opportunities on the go at any one given time. So we need to make sure we've got access to the decision makers to really make the difference and make that happen.
So where does the recruitment piece kind of fit into this other side, which is about values and culture? And I say that because a lot of agencies are really clear about what their values are, and they're really clear about what their culture are. I think also a lot of agencies would like to think they are, but really they're kind of presenting something to the market, but internally they're a little bit confused. You go into any agency and you say, why should people buy from you when they can buy from the competition? They go, that's a really great question. And you go, well, come on, tell me what the answer is. And they waffle. It either goes down the route of we were founded in 2015, or it goes off on this, our purpose is to, and they on a regular basis, they kind of, I would argue, they fail to nail what their values are and what their culture are. They've either not done enough work or they've done the wrong work. So I'd just be really interested to know how work in that triangle: recruitment, values, and culture. I'd just be really interested to see how you think that plays out.
Well, I think it's absolutely integral. As you say, just nodding at what you're saying there, the amount of businesses, agencies I've gone into over the years, and they've got these values emblazoned over the walls. And when you actually sit down with some key people in the business, say, well, what are your key values? And no one knows them, even though they're literally on the walls, etc. But the best agencies that I've partnered with, you walk into a business and you can sense the culture. You can see that everyone's working in an aligned manner towards one common purpose, one goal, and they've all got each other's back, and they all work collaboratively with each other. And so I think that values and culture is so important nowadays. I think people have played lip service to it, but nowadays this is the differentiator between hiring the best people and not hiring the best people.
Okay, we can't not talk about millennials and snowflakes. Again, I don't know any agency owner, and I include ourselves in that, where either they turn up for day, if you're lucky, they turn up for day one of the interview, after the interview. If you're lucky, they stay for 6 weeks, but you really shouldn't be surprised if you just get an email saying, oh, I've decided to move on. And it's just like, everyone has these nightmare stories. So is it kind of Simon Sinek-y, we need to understand, they don't understand? Is it that kind of non? Is it just people have always been thus? Is it the industry? Is it that people are just not making it clear at interview what on earth is going on with this sort of millennial snowflake generation? What's your take on that? Okay,
so I did talk recently, and I guess the main tranche of that was about millennials, how to identify, land, attract, and retain them. But I've got a slant there, I've got an angle of it, and as opposed to calling millennials or snowflakes, I refer to them as future leaders, because they are the future leaders of all our businesses. And I think as business owners, we have the responsibility to listen to these people, understand why they perceive the working world to be the way it is, and we have to adapt and evolve our businesses to ensure that we create an environment that works for them. That might sound fluffy, and yeah, I've not got all the answers on that, but it is our responsibility to create a vision for a business that they feel is meaningful and impactful, and when they're going to really make a difference, and create an environment where they feel that they are treated as adults. And some of the agencies I'm working with that are really evolving that culture, they're having the best success. People don't want to leave, so it's about trusting them, give them that flexibility. Sort of working life nowadays isn't about 9 to 5. It's about outcomes. What outcomes does each individual need to achieve on a week by week basis, whereby that then goes collectively towards the grand master plan that you're aiming towards. And if your dishwasher breaks down and you need to just stay at home for the morning, do your work. And that flexibility creates stickability and loyalty within the business. And I think just businesses that are trying to rip up the rule book a little bit. And am I allowed to name names on here, agencies that are doing?
Oh yeah, name names. Good name. Name names positively, so we don't get any legal battle.
Johnny Twos and the guys at Lab, I think, they are trailblazing in this. They launched a 4-day week about 9-12 months ago, and when they did that, I dropped Johnny a note saying that is genius. You're going to become oversubscribed. People are just going to be queuing up wanting to come and work for you, because it's just, we're even looking at it from our side of the business, and hopefully that will then be another point of uniqueness for our business, why people want to join us. But I think it's that trust aspect. It's so important. If you can, at the end of the day, we're paying people's salaries. We can't then trust them to do the work that we're paying them for. I think we've got the problem. I think on a grander macro scale, I think Instagram, bloggers, Love Island, all that kind of good stuff, bad stuff, is instilling different values of I want it now, I want it here and now, as opposed to the journey that it takes to grow and develop. We just promoted one of our guys on Friday. Had a great afternoon with him. He was on a 2-year journey. He's a millennial, future leader of our business, and he was saying how he's loved the 2-year journey, the ups, the downs, the learnings, and he's like, right, what's the next 18 months look like? So we're going to plan that with him now, this week. So
I mean, I certainly think that this is so easy to generalize. There are horror stories of, we all know the stories of, on week 2 wanting to know why they can't be in the strategy away day and all that, and why they can't pitch to the big clients, or not turning up because they felt they didn't feel very well or whatever it was. So I think there's that issue there. I think there is an issue about mental health, and I think that there's loads of agencies who are now taking on board the mantle of our people need to be in a good place, and if they're not in a good place, work needs to have different mechanisms, either informal or formal, that can assist and can help people. I think that's really positive. And I spent last week with a future board, for want of a better phrase. It is literally a future board, and it's an agency who we both know. They have created a new board. The owners have said they're going to be externally focused, and they want this new board to run the business. And there's 4, maybe 5 people, and when I met them, they were all under 30, kind of heads off. And it's not easy to take on. We are the future board members of this agency, and we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to take it to 150, 100, 200 people, so on and so forth. But they are brilliant. These guys and gals are so bright. None of them have got an MBA. They've been a little bit too technically focused on doing what they do. But you can actually see, if we're going to use those weasel words, in terms of emotional intelligence and in terms of being able to step back and look at what the whole business can do, absolutely awesome. So I part of me does think that they're given a really rough time, and part of that rough time, I suspect, is because the MDs and owners and founders are hugely impatient, and what we don't get. It's interesting you talking about being an entrepreneur at the beginning. what I think what we don't get is that if we run businesses, we are a trifle unreasonable and a trifle obsessive and a trifle probably on the spectrum. We ain't normal. We don't go home at Friday at 5 o'clock and stop thinking about the business. We're up at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're obsessing about it when we're in the shower. We're obsessing about it when we walk the dog. We're kind of with it all the time. And for us to expect people who we give a wage to be as obsessed, I think it's a bit unreasonable, really. So, yeah.
Just on that board, how much of a buzz and an energy they must have loving the fact that they've been given this responsibility, an opportunity to take out ownership of the business.
Absolutely, and they are absolutely alive, and they are. They got like big wicket keeping clubs, and they're just catching everything. And it's tough. Now we want you to think strategically. Now we want you to think about the future. We want to think about who the competition. I want to think about who our customers are. We want to think about which platforms we should be working on. If we are going to develop down this platform A, then we're going to do less platform B. How do we actually make that? And that's been awesome. So. Your business, how do you grow your business? Is there a business model? Do you have annual away days? Do you have consultants? I'd be really interested just to know, are you kind of happy with a lifestyle business? What's your take on business growth?
Yeah. We've engaged with lots of external help over the years. We've had a number of different non-execs who've helped us strategically grow the business. We're probably on our third now. All very different people with all very different skills, but you get to a certain stage of a business and then you need to engage with another set of skills to help you get to another level. So it's on a commercial business owner strategic level, Richard and I engage on that, and we go and have these monthly meetings where you come out feeling exhausted because he's picked holes in everything you do. But that's great. You need that external sense checker to scrutinize and get clarity and get calm. I mean, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. So we do that on one level. On a leadership development, personal development level, we've worked with a chap called Martin Murphy, who's ex-SAS and now runs a leadership development business, and he's come in and helping us all grow individually, but as a team, really trying to implement sort of an elite team processes, which has been great. And seeing the younger guys in the business now adopting these methodologies is great. I get such a buzz out of seeing my guys and girls embracing these and learning and just getting better at their craft. So we do that. I guess from another business perspective, we've just bought an office in Manchester as well, so that's been a big milestone for us. We're actually moving in on the first week of July, so that's going to be a great new hub for us in the northern quarter. It'll be a great investment for the business as well, and it's got a great workspace, outside space, and a sort of event hosting space. So we're hoping to do more for our clients or offer that out for clients who want away days. And as you say, touching on away days, I think, importantly, we do, once a quarter, we'll reevaluate where we're at versus our strategy, update everyone in the business, because that's the most important thing. Transparency of communications, whether it's things are going great, things are going pretty shit, just communicate it, be dead authentic, and get everyone aligned and feeling as though they know exactly where we're up to and what needs to be done.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. So I love it. I love the fact that you do play with a straight bat, and everyone I know who's worked with you says the same thing. And I have to say, I've never heard anyone bad mouthing your particular recruitment consultant. That's just a matter of fact. So that's really great. Just as we kind of wrap up, I'm kind of thinking it's just a business. Oh, he actually uses recruitment consultants to help him grow his group, and he's does get under the skin of his client. What a couple of top tips, a couple of one-liners, whatever it is. What are the sort of what are the things that people hear you say? What are the things that you think agencies and businesses should be doing? Just if you've got one or two, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
From a recruitment perspective, or just generally?
do recruitment perspective and then generally. How about that?
Yeah, okay. So I think from a recruitment, talent attraction perspective, invest time in it. It's one of the most important pillars to your business. So invest as much time in, and invest as much time as you can with requisite partners who you think are going to be able to help you, and make sure throughout that interview process that you spend time, selling the dream or selling the proposition to individuals. And it's not just one way now. It's not question. The talent that comes into the door need to be wooed. They need to be massaged. They need to know what's in it for them. What does the future look like? So, and don't rush it. You hire slowly, fire fast. I don't really like that phrase, but hire slowly, be methodical. If that person does need to take another offer quicker because you're not moving at the pace, they're probably not the right person for you. So just make sure enough people have met, and the acid test as well. Take people out for beers, see what they're really like. We did it last week with someone, and that they were completely not right for our culture. We were verbally about to offer them the job, but after a couple of drinks, they'd disarm themselves, and they would have become a complete cultural nightmare. So just make sure you go through that process. And it was the younger guys in our business, the future leaders in our business said, he's a nightmare, don't hire him. So had we not done that, or had we not listened to the voices of our business, it would have been a nightmare. So there's that. And the other part of the question, Robert, was
just generally what one-liners or what sort of advice would you give to people running businesses?
Do something you love, do something you enjoy. Life is so bloody short, and anything could happen tomorrow. So do something you enjoy. Surround yourselves with the right people that you get a buzz out of, that inspire you, and you feel like you could inspire them. And just enjoy it. And if you're not enjoying it, do something else. I wanted to be a professional golfer when I was growing up, but I wasn't going to be good enough. So I got into recruitment. I still play a lot of golf, but do something you love, where you feel like you're adding value, and you've got a part to play. We're not saving people's lives, but part of our purpose is transforming lives. The amount of people's lives we've helped transform off the back of the work we've done, or a business that we've helped transform through the work we've done. That drives the heartbeat of what drives me daily.
Brilliant. Absolutely marvellous. I've really, really, really enjoyed the conversation. Leon's URL, email address, and all that kind of stuff will appear at the end. So just go and talk to him, go and see him. And finally, a very big thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
And thank you. Really enjoyed it. Thanks, Robert.
Bye.
Yes.